Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prastaya Bhutale Srimati Bhaktivedanta Swami Namane Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauravani Pacharani Nirvasesha Sunyavari Paskacha Desatarani Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Dvaita Gadada Shri Vasari Gopal Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare Hare. This emanates from a series of classes online and questions devotees ask. I'm a little embarrassed, of course, hello out there online, because for Vijay and Dravida Prabhu, they know all these things, practice them, realize them. But it's good to ask. People are always asking keys, secrets, shortcuts. And there actually are some. So now, up and down arrows. I don't have my glasses on. Mukunda, you see the up and down? Oh, here we go. Okay. So this comes from Rupa Goswami's Nectar Devotion, Nectar of Instruction. It's not just my opinion, who cares what I think. And also from Krishnadas Kaviraj's Chaitanya Charitamrita. You'd be amazed, not Dravida Prabhu and Vijay, but it's amazing how many people have not actually read Chaitanya Charitamrita or Upadeshamrita. You'd be just amazed. I find it amazing. There it is. So, Krishna consciousness is a science. We had a great experience one time. We used to go from Detroit into Windsor, Canada. It's the only place you can go south to Canada in America. It's a piece of trivia for you. But the Canadian Customs one time confiscated our books. And they were saying, you have to pay taxes on these. We said, well, they're religious books. So they said, well, we'll have to send them to Ottawa, the capital, and make sure. So they sent it took a sampling of all of our books. We couldn't come back till we got a permit to do it. And they sent all the books to Ottawa. And about 2 weeks before Prabhupada came, for his visit, we got a letter from the Canadian government customs, and they said that we had to pay the taxes because the books are not religious, they were scientific. And Prabhupada was very, very pleased. He thought this is, he really liked that. He got a real chuckle out of it. But it's a fact. And by scientific, I mean there's a methodology. It's not just, if you want to mail your letter, it's not finding the post office, it's in the search. Forget it. If you're serious, you want to know how to advance. There's a science, there's a reason. And Prabhupada used to tell, so here's the cornerstone of the thing. What is the nature of our heart? We blame Krishna. Why don't I advance it? Why did this happen? But Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita, and Prabhupada, we are captains of our fate. We determine. It's our consciousness. So how we see the world, you can have exact same people, you can have exact physical experience. It's pouring rain. A farmer says, fantastic. He's so happy. But the young girl who's about to have her outdoor wedding in the beautiful park, how does she feel about the rain? So purpose and consciousness, it is not. That's what determines how we see the world. Prabhupada gives the example from Chanakya Pandit that a lusty man sees a beautiful woman and thinks, hey, hey, baby. A lion sees a beautiful woman, and what does he think, Ram? Tasty snack item. And what does a Pandit from Bhagavad Gita, what does a Pandit say? Pandita Samadarshana. He sees spirit, soul, all. So it's vision, not the object. So if the nature of our heart determines how we perceive, how we experience, how Krishna conscious we are. Is our heart tuned to catch Krishna's signals? The signal may be going out, but if I don't have my radio tuned, I'm not going to pick up the signals. You gotta have the radio, you gotta have the signals, but it's got to be tuned. So what has this got to do with us? People say, show me the truth. I want to know God, but where does Krishna want to sit? It depends on the nature of the heart. Wet grass or dry grass. It's the same spark, but what does it fall on? So the signal's out there, but what does it fall on? Can you see? You can see through a glass at when you can't. It's cluttered consciousness. This is the famous story, and this is the essence of the thing, by Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur. And he was asked by some of his disciples, why is it that some people advance very quickly in spiritual life, and some people, they go through all the motions, but they don't make much advancement? And he told the story. The story was about the wedding party. Now, some of you know it, some of you don't. So because it's one of those jewels that should be in. Where is Damodar Kumar? Damodar Kumar, where are you? He's cooking? And Jamal is also cooking? Yeah, I know what I'm doing. Anyway, Hare Krishna. Because this is for you. It's not for me. It's for you. So, why do some people advance and some people don't? Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur gave the example. He was asked this question. There was a wedding party, and they were going up to the groom's village. And in Bengal, they take advantage of boat service. So there's going to be green coconut kachoris and puris and a big feast, and we'll be able to chit-chat with all of they were all very happy, all of our friends. They're going to see a wedding. Happy, happy. As Dharnidhar Prabhu said, and I hope he doesn't mind me quoting this, he and I were at a wedding one time. And the guy comes riding in on the horse, with the big drums and the whole thing, right? Dharnidhar turned to me and said, king for a day, slave for the rest of his life. Nice, Dharnidhar's a nice guy, a lot of realizations in there, actually. So, but they're all very happy they're going to the wedding. So what to do? They tell the boat, it's nighttime. If the boatman rows all night long, by the sunrise, they'll be at the village. So they say, and we'll give you 2 gold coins. You get us there by sunrise. The boatman's very enthusiastic. The wedding party, all beds down on the boat. They're snoring, dreaming of green coconut kachoris. The boatman is working hard. They wake up, first light of day. They haven't moved an inch. They begin to chastise them. I actually had this happen one time. I was in a taxi we were going from downtown Juhu, Mumbai in those days, from Bombay to the Juhu temple. I was tired. I went to sleep in the taxi. I woke up an hour later. I hadn't gone anywhere. You know what happened? Taxi cab driver went to sleep too. He was feeling tired. He said, I said, hey, what if I've been in a hurry? He said, well, you didn't look like you were in a hurry. So he took a nap too, only in India. So what happened? Anyone know other than Vijay Prabhu and Dravidar Prabhu? The boatmen definitely rowed all night long. What was the problem? Anyone know? Oh, Ram, you know this one. Anyone else know the example? Didn't pull up the anchor. So sure, we can go through the motions, and that's very good, and ultimately, by osmosis, there will be some effect. You close to fire, you become like fire. But it takes a long time. So we got to pull up the anchor. So what are those anchors? And Prabhupada said the farmer is always engaged in 2 activities. He's planting the seeds, he's planting the shoots. You see that rice farm, he's got and he's putting the rice in there. But you got to do something else. What else do you have to do, Balaramji? You got to pull the weeds. We have practical experience. Otherwise, they choke out everything. Okay, so what are those weeds and how do we do it? We must protect the tender creeper of devotional service. Prabhupada always uses the word creeper. Creeper's like a vine, you know? It can't support it. It needs support, a vine. So a little delicate, you can plant the seed, great. You got fertile soil, it'll come up. But that's not sufficient. You can get the bhakti lata bij from your Gurudev or from the transcendental, you know, and it can be watered by siksha, good instruction, but you got to protect it. Whoops. When I first came to the temple, first time, one of the first things I heard Srila Prabhupada say, we came to the old Vatsika, the old La Cienega temple. We arrived late, and I love sweets, thus diabetes. And especially I love baked sweets, cookies, cakes, donuts. All gone now. Krishna's helped me be a nice sannyasi, or at least a better sannyasi. But I love sweets. There it is. And when I walked in with Prabhupada's sweet Bengali accent and my dull head, I heard Prabhupada say, we have so many donuts. I thought, fantastic. Because I was reading Gita, I was associating with devotees. I said, great philosophy. And donuts too, because in those days, everything had eggs in it. So I had to give up cookies, I had to give up donuts, I had to give up cake. It was a tough slog. Sex was one thing, but donuts, that was tough, you know. And I'm just joking, but so there it was. And I thought, wow, he's describing the menu. And, you know, I thought Prabhupada was just throwing in the menu, you know, why not? But as I listened, I said, oh, geez, I was crushed, because he said, do nots. And Prabhupada said, every process has yama and niyama. You don't do this and you do this. There's a positive and negative. Whatever it is, I don't want to take up the time, but you want to learn the piano. There's things you do, things you don't do. You want to become an athlete. Things you do, every process has yama and niyama. So, sure, we got do's and do nots. So here, as I said, from the Upadeshamrita, here are 6 causes of fall down or that slow our progress. The inverse is, if we want to speed up our process, we need to, and I'm speaking to myself, believe me, we need to look in our heart. Krishna consciousness is there. Prabhupada said you could become, people often ask, how long does it to become Krishna conscious? Now, Dravida, you can jump in. What did Prabhupada, I can't think of a time that he didn't say it. When he was asked, how long does it take to become Krishna conscious? Within a moment. But what determines it? Okay, here we go. 6 causes of fall down. Whoops. And I should point out, I should put this one in front of it. We've not been left behind. It describes in the Bhagavatam that the great souls, they've gone back to Godhead. So what? We're left here like Calvinists just to suffer in this world and die and probably go to hell? What is that all about? No. They've left a boat. They've crossed the ocean of birth and death. They've gone over the river of Yamaraj. But they've left their boat. What is that boat? Their good instruction. So I'm going to change the order of these slides, but here we go, from Rupa Goswami's Nectar of Instruction. Atyahara, eating too much, collecting too much. Hey, make a note of this, because some slides I want to add. Prabhupada says, if you work like a horse, you can eat like a horse. If you work like a bird, you have to eat like a bird, you know? So also Prabhupada said, so make a note, I want bird and horse. Prabhupada also said, he liked this, I don't know where he heard it, but he liked this saying, some people live to eat. It's really strong. If you ever go, in Singapore, they have so many restaurants. People love it. It's like, and I think it also is strong in China, but I've never, it's true, certainly true in Hong Kong and Taiwan. People love to go out, but Singapore, practically speaking, they don't eat at home. Majority of the people. They love, and anyway, they got so many restaurants. You can go there. It's called, what is the name of it? It's called the Emperor's Feast. And it's a standard thing. You get like 12 different courses, and one is Malaysian, and one is Indian, and one's American, and one's Italian, and one's Chinese. So Prabhupada said we should not live to eat. What should we do?
Eat to live.
Just eat to live. Now, it doesn't mean, we take Krishna Prasadam. Prabhupada said, I don't think I have a single disciple if I had not introduced Prasadam. Prabhupada said that Prasadam is the solace for a brahmachari. You know, we have a rough day, you take a little Mahaprasadam, it'll all look better tomorrow. So, no, we're not diminishing that. But it's overeating. Overeating, Prabhupada said it's a line. What is it? Atasi Krishna Namadi. It's a line. If you overeat, starts with the tongue. Then it fills up the belly, it pushes the genitals, and off we go. Or you sleep all day long. So, atyahara. Or over-collecting too much. So much stuff. Prabhupada, I was listening to a lecture, Prabhupada said, oh, Krishna, if I only had $1 million, I could serve you so nicely. So it's like that. We want so much stuff. Prayasyas, over-endeavoring for material things, this passionate, burning. I should put this one, the Mad Hatter. Of course, it's an American reference. You know the Mad Hatter from Alice in Wonderland? What was the Mad Hatter's mantra? What did he carry? What did the Mad Hatter carry? He had a stopwatch, a clock. And what was his mantra? Late for a very important date. So I want that too. Late for an important date. And Prabhupada used to make fun of it. I have no time. I have no time for Krishna content. And we hear it a lot. I have no time. Even Prahlad's little friend said, oh, when we're old, not now, let us play. You know what Prabhupada said old age is? When is old age? Other than Dravida and Vijay. When is old age? Just before death. And Prabhupada said, and does anyone have a certificate when they're going to die? I'm an old man, no doubt about it. But hey, Balaram, may you have a long life in Krishna service. But we could kick over at any moment. So this burning passion must have late, no time for Krishna consciousness. Got to get. Also prajalpa. Talking unnecessarily about mundane things. What they say, make sure that brain is in gear before tongue is engaged. And I live over here at the Diamond in the Rough apartments, and they talk it's just amazing. They can talk for 2 or 3 hours and not say one thing of substance. Prabhupada's joke, we all know it, I'll make it quick. The miners, you have to accept Jesus. The priest was preaching to the miners in Sheffield. Oh, you have to accept Jesus. They're simple men. They said, oh, what's his number? All the miners have a number. He must have a number. No. No. And Jesus is Lord, and if you don't accept him, you're going to burn forever in hell. They didn't know. They said, what's hell? Oh, it's underneath the earth, and it's hot, and you have to slave, and people are poking you all the time. Work harder. Totally unfazed. That's life in the mines. Didn't bother them at all. Prabhupada said the priest was intelligent. He told them, oh, in hell, there's no newspaper. Oh, horrible, Prabhupada says. Prabhupada talks about the Sunday Times. Dravida knows the Sunday Times from New York Sunday Times. It's 2-3 inches thick. Somebody sent me one time how many trees, acres of trees, are just butchered to produce the Sunday New York Times. Big lump of newspaper. Prabhupada says, I was listening to a lecture. He said they're sleeping it with on their chests, so beloved. You see the glasses are drooped and the man is falling asleep reading the New York Times. So it's just Gramya Katha. What is the benefit? And what is Prabhupada's example, the Bhagavatam's example? When the frog croaks, he thinks he's singing very important words. I can't do it. I want to make a tape someday of all the sound effects that Prabhupada makes. He does dump trucks. He does, airplanes taking off. He makes cars, huh? What's that?
Bombs coming down.
Bombs coming. You listen to Prabhupada, huh? dogs. I mean, Prabhupada makes so many fantastic sound effects, you know. He's an expert. So, the Prabhupada makes a frog sound, you know, croak, 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 whatever he's doing. You know, and what is the result of the frog singing poetry? He's actually singing a love song to other female crows. He thinks he's like Romeo under what fair light doth break, you know. He's singing out the Juliet frog. And what is the result? Anyone know? I think you can get an impression. It's simply the snake knows where he is and comes and eats him. So Prabhupada said we spend all of our time talk, and the snake of death comes and consumes us. Everything's finished. I was in the room when Prabhupada did this. Because they say, okay, but what does silence mean? Oh, I've taken a vow of silence. So a guy actually in Detroit said to Prabhupada, some so-called yogi, one who speaks doesn't know. One who knows doesn't speak. And to confirm his example, he said, if you tap a pot, a clay pot, if it's full of water, it won't make a sound. If it's empty, tong, 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 you can play it like a drum. So that's that. Prabhupada said to him, so we're a drum, I'm a clay pot. You know, an analogy has to have similarities. So Prabhupada said, he asked the man, Prabhupada used to set people up all the time. Perfect. Because that way it sinks into their head. Prabhupada said, do you believe that a teacher should follow his philosophy? What he says he should follow. The man said, yes. Prabhupada said, very good. Your philosophy is that one who knows should not speak. So you be quiet, don't speak. Our philosophy is real speaking is real silence is one speaks only about Krishna. So we can follow a vow of silence because we only speak about Krishna. So you be quiet and we'll speak about Krishna. The man was just stunned. He just shut up and didn't know what to say. So we know we don't talk Prajalpa, but we talk about Krishna. And in the kitchen, you should be meditating on Krishna. And you got, somebody's rattling on about, what happened on the radio, and this one said that, and the latest news. It's rubbish. And it plants a seed in the heart. This is my favorite, if I've got it here. Oh, what happened? Maybe, it's in another section. Okay, Niyamagraha. Because of time, I don't want to. We're not going to get done. I need a clock. Anybody got a clock? Where's the class clock? Can you grab that class clock? It's all right. We'll pick it up later on some other time. So, Niyamagraha, which means people blindly follow, and you follow with the Christians. Thanks a lot, Rob. That, you just accept Jesus, you just go to church. I've been churched. I've heard people say that. I've been distributing books. Nah, man, I go on Sundays, I've been churched. The Parsis, was it the Farsis or I forget from the Bible. But, fine, you follow all the rules and regulations. It's very strong in Jewish tradition, Hindu tradition. Fast on this, they bow down. See a South Indian come in, they pull the earlobes, they do the whole thing, But what's in the heart? So, Prabhupada's story, there was a wedding. Everything's set up, and to set up the fire jug, it takes time, all that. There was a cat kept running across. Cat, it's unclean, what to do? Priest said, throw a basket over it. Doesn't hurt the cat, restrains it. Okay, fine. Wedding, finished. Woman grew up. Wonderful, happy marriage. It was time for her daughter to get married. So she wanted to, have everything auspicious in the same way. Same priest, same church, same temple, same astrologer, everything same, all set up. Priest said, okay, ready to go. Now for her daughter, the mother said, no, it's not ready. Priest said, no, I've been doing this, I know. No, there has to be a cat in the basket. It becomes part of the tradition. Or, simple version, you see all the Brahmins lined up at, what's it, Prayag? Where does they, Allahabad? Where they all worship the Ganga? Triveni, where is that? Okay, so they're all, they're all lined up. You see, anyway, so many places. You'll even see in Vrindavan sometime. You'll have 20, 30 Brahmins all there. One Brahmin had an idea. He made a little clay ball, put it on his tray, said that way it'll distinguish his tray. He went down, bathed, came back. All the other trays had clay balls. Because the other Brahmins said, oh, he knows some special ritual. We don't want him to be one up on us. Did he know? So they all made clay balls too. So people just blindly follow. Okay, that's one side of it. But the other side of it is to give up the rules and regulations. I'm a free spirit. Who was that? That fool Carlos was here? You remember Carlos? Yeah, Carlos. At least he's still distributing books. That's how he makes his livelihood. It's a material motivation, but still, at least he's distributing books. I don't bow down to anyone. Oh, you bow down to your senses. You bow down to yourself, So, what happens? What do you want to have a slice of? Jamal's a good cook. Where? Jamal's in the kitchen cooking. He's a good cook. I mean, many good cooks here. So, if you follow the recipe, what happens? Get a nice cake. Anyway, I don't want to take up time. But I don't want, takes too long, and I don't have much sugar. I'm going to use more flour. What happens? You don't follow the recipe. Here's what you get. So, you don't follow blindly. You have to know the spirit of the law, not just the letter of the law. But you can't just give it up. And if we do, that's what happens. Janasanga, associating with worldly people. This is Times Square, I think. So, just the cynosure, the center of that churning, burning passion. And, okay, Janasanga, what's the problem? Narada Muni, no more expert, no greater expert than Narada Muni. I just love this quote. Materially associated. When you have Janasanga, what happens? If you put wine in a clay pot and you pour the wine out, what remains other than Vijay and Dravida Prabhu? If you smell the pot, you can't get that smell out. It permeates, so you can say, well, it was in, now it's out. But it's not like that. Janasanga goes into the brain. It goes into the heart. It plants seeds. What do I care? I'll just brush it out. I'll just go chant Hare Krishna. It'll clean it all out. But it has a residual effect. And what are those seeds? Lust, anger, confusion, forgetfulness, loss of intelligence, and total calamity. Rising like waves from material association, these bad effects mass into a great ocean of misery. We don't want any of these qualities, but that's what comes from Janasanga. I'll go to the movies, I'll go to the play, I'll read, so many magazines and whatever it is, hang out with my neighbors and talk Ramya Katha, even with devotees. Oh, how are you? How's so-and-so? Prabhupada met Sridhar Swami. And they were old friends. They were a preaching team. I forget who it was. It was one brahmachari was the bhajan leader. Sridhar Swami made the presentation, and Prabhupada is the businessman who'd invited his friends. Prabhupada was the closer. Prabhupada says it on tape. They were a team, man, and they raised tons of money. They built that temple, so many things, That was their program. So they were old friends. They got together. I saw it. I was there. They embraced, and Prabhupada immediately went. I have so many questions. 5th canto, this, that. Sridhar Swami says, how is the preaching going? They talked for 3 hours nonstop on the balcony of the Mayapur temple. Out in front of Prabhupada's room. They got 2 chairs, and they just went at it. And it wasn't, how's your health? I mean, we care about devotees. That's fine. That's, revealing one's mind in confidence, hearing it. Those are all, loving exchanges. But it's not just, did you hear so-and-so? Really? Well, did you not really? I saw you. Okay. This is lolium. I love this picture. Being greedy for mundane achievements. Lust, I got to have more. Give me, I want. Do you become satisfied? We all know, burns like fire, never satisfied. The more fuel, the bigger the fire. Scratch an itch, it just comes back. Prabhupada said, how do you get rid of an unwanted guest? Anyone know? Vedic culture, there's etiquette. They don't just in America, hey buddy, buzz off. So it's passive aggression. What do? You don't feed them, man. You don't feed a guest, they're gone after a couple of days. They're going to find a good meal somewhere else. So rather than trying to feed the fire, if we tolerate. Okay, struggling for things too hard to achieve. Bhaktidas. Remember Bhaktidas? You know, he actually was the town president here for some time. Bhaktidas, he would go when we were in LA. Sometimes he'd stay out till 1 o'clock in the morning or at night doing books. And he told Prabhupada, "Oh, Prabhupada, I love distributing you books so much. I'm staying out past midnight." Very good. But Prabhupada didn't miss a trick. He wasn't there for Bhagavatam class. He was sleeping in the morning, Prabhupada said, "Don't fall flat," So Prabhupada told him, charity begins at home. So we want to build a big temple, or we want to do this or that, But if we work so hard that we don't have time for sadhana, we don't chant our rounds nicely, we don't hear Srimad Bhagavatam, we don't, So it works both ways. We don't want to be greedy. Okay, you got the picture. So here's another. And what is the time? We're making progress. So that was advice, warning posts, what to do to don't let these things grow in our heart. So that was from the Upadeshamrita by Rupa Goswami. Now from Krishnadas Kaviraj, we all know the example. Here's Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. If we want, before you put the deity on the altar, you make everything nice and clean. So if we want Krishna in our heart, once again, we want to catch those signals, how to advance in spiritual life, our heart has to be clean. That's what it's all about. So the analogy is there, but the fact is there. So kutinata, fault finding. Prabhupada wrote me a letter. I'll tell the truth. I wrote a letter complaining about the St. Louis temple. I'd come from LA and it's a long story, but they needed help in St. Louis. I was a brahmachari. Karandar said, "Hey, will you go to St. Louis?" I agreed. I flew there. The temple president used to sleep. He would come down for breakfast in his pajamas. Gadagraj was my only brahmachari association who used to go down to the college in karmi clothes and get chocolate malt balls out of the vending machine and watch the girls. It was a tough spot. I arrived there. I was a brahmachari. I was an innocent. I was a young boy. I just turned 18. I was a young boy. I put my laundry in the washing machine. I went back later on to put it in the dryer. It had been put in the dryer. It had been folded and ironed, and there was a note from the one brahmacharini proposing to me. I called Jayatirtha, "Get me out of here!" So I wrote to Prabhupada. Prabhupada wrote back to me. The first line was, "It's very good that you're concerned about the advancement of your god brothers." Actually, I wasn't. And Prabhupada said there's devotees who are like bees and there's devotees who are like flies. Where do you find a fly? Nasty. And Prabhupada said you find it there on stool. You find that nasty place. And where, other than Dravida and Vijay, where do you find a bee? Oh, nice smell, lotus flower. So Prabhupada said we have a choice. Where do we want to live? Do we want to be like a bee, like a fly, finding fault in others, find fault? Then that's where we'll live. We'll live in a nasty world. Or if we want to be a bee, so we have that choice. So finding fault in others, we're looking for some nasty thing. Anyone know our friend here? Who is our friend from Chaitanya Charitamrita? Oh, of course, Lord Chaitanya. But who is our friend in quotes? And what was he doing other than Dravida? Who's been to Puri? Anyone here been to Puri? I find that in Puri there's naturally ants, little ants. You get those little tiny ones. They're naturally wandering hither and thither. What did Ramchandra Puri do? Even Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he accused, just see there's sweets here. It means this sannyasi is secretly keeping sugar candy. Chaitanya. Of course, it's Chaitanya Charitamrita, so sweet. So everybody cuts back their eating. He would invite somebody, stuff them. They wanted to be a nice guest, so he'd eat more. So to be polite, they'd eat a little bit more. Then he'd say, "You lusty fool, look how much you're eating." So he was just, but what happened to Ramchandra Puri? Due to his tendency to find fault in devotees, especially his fellow Vaishnavas, what happened to Ramchandra Puri? Anyone know other than Dravida and Vijay? What happened to him? When he was at the end, he was with Madhavinda Puri, his Guru Maharaj. And what did he say to his Guru Maharaj? Dravida. He was calling out, "Oh, in the mood of Radharani, where are you?" And Ramchandra Puri says, "Oh, why are you calling out? Fix your mind on Brahman." What did Madhavinda Puri say? "Get this man out of my sight. If I leave this world looking at this materialistic man, I will not achieve my destination." He was rejected by his own spiritual master. And Prabhupada says in the purports, his heart became hard. By criticism of the Vaishnavas, over time, little by little, incrementally, his heart became so hard, he became a die-hard impersonalist and was rejected by his own spiritual master. So this is the mad elephant offense, kutinata, to find fault in devotees. We got to be careful. Just magnify little fault. Well, no, look at this. What is Prabhupada's classic example? Dravida, you can give this. What is his classic example about diminishing someone who's actually accomplished something? The judge. What do you say about the judge? Oh! You say, "Oh, so-and-so just got appointed High Court judge." Really? Well, he must not be getting a salary. It's just somehow or other diminish the guy's position. Prabhupada said, "Tend to your own garden. Study our own heart. We will find sufficient subject matter." I know for myself, I have a lifetime's worth of work cleansing my heart. Now, if you're teaching somebody, if you're their spiritual master, if you're teaching them how to cook, if you're the temple president, if you're in a leadership role, so you have to correct people sometimes. But if it's not your role, tend to your own garden. It'll keep you busy. Plenty to do there. Study our own heart. Pratishta, desire for name, fame, and high position. Does this guy look like a humble Vaishnav? Trinadapi Sunichena? What does he look like? I got mine, and I'm above you. I'm dancing on your head. There's an Armenian curse. I want to dance on your ashes. That's it. What is it? Schadenfreude? What is it? Freud? What is it? It's not enough just to succeed, but you got to see others fail. You got to drive by in your limo and splash mud on them as they're out there trying to sell an apple, Then it's the full flavor. Krishna nails it, of course. Krishna, in Bhagavad Gita, I'm perfect, powerful, and happy. I'm the richest man. There are none so powerful and as happy as me, to stand on the head of others. So that's the materialist. No way, man. It happens to devotees as well. I'm the best pujari. I'm the best madanga player. I'm the best book distributor. I'm the best ISKCON leader. I've made the most devotees. I. Prabhupada said, like a big puri puffed up. You poke a puri, what happens when it's coming out of the ghee? It's all hot air. So it happens to the devotees. What we'll do is we'll finish the negative side, and then we'll do a part 2. Jiva Hamsa. And it's not envy. Envy's covered elsewhere. But it's not so much I want what you've got. Prabhupada uses it in the sense of exploiting others. Here you got this little baby in rags. All it's got is this little lollipop. And here you got this big fat cat. Not enough. What is it, the 1% and the 10% and the 99%? 1% of the wealth of America. What is it? 90% of the wealth of America is held by 1% of the population? I mean, it's just incredible. The economy's sinking. Banks are making money off this thing. This COVID thing, they sent $3 trillion The majority of that was sucked up by big banks. I don't know whether it was Krispy Kreme Donuts or one of those big franchises. They listed each, because they were giving loans so that you keep your business going and you can keep, you keep your employees, and that way they've got money to spend and it primes the pump. These guys are sitting on billions of dollars of assets, and they imply, each franchise applied as an individual business, that one of those franchises, it sucked up like 5% of that pool that was supposed to go to small businesses. By disguising this, and the banks are charging incredible fees. They're rapacious. Okay, that we said. Oh, we're going backwards? What happened here? Prabhupada said there's always three types of people, three categories, three levels. I should change it to the levels. There's three levels of people. We will always see people who are more fortunate than us, materially, people who are less fortunate, and people who are equal. Human experience, it's just a simple example, but it's Prabhupada's example, and it's true. There'll always be people who appear to be better off, people who are less fortunate, and people who are the same. The materialist, how do they see it? Oh, someone is more fortunate, I'm envious. I want to get it, snatch it away from. There's those two brothers. What are the name of those brothers in Bombay, the richest in India? The one guy built that huge skyscraper. Yeah, built this huge. He's got rooms he's never even been in. He's got bowling alleys, movie theaters. It's a huge skyscraper. There's so many issues. But his brother split off from envious. He's building a bigger one. So we're envious, materialist. Someone who's the same, I compete. I try to push him down, knock him out of the way, poke him in the eyes, and take their wallet. And someone who's less, exploit, take advantage of, cheat. So what kind? You're either envious, competing, or exploiting. It's a horrible world to live in. You imagine J. Paul Getty had a payphone he made people use. He said there's only, at the time, Getty Oil, he was one of the richest men in the world, if not the richest man. He said there's two types of people you pay in this, two types of people in this world. This is how he saw the world. People you pay to stay with you, people you pay to stay away from you. Imagine what kind of world that is to live in. Your heart just shrinks to a stone. How does a Vaishnava see? Same thing. How does a Vaishnava see people who are less than us, less fortunate? Mercy, compassion, kindness. Pick them up, help them. How do we see someone who's equal with us? You make friends with them. And someone who's superior, senior, you offer service and you hear from them. What world do you want to live in? Where you're serving and learning, where you've got friendship, and where you're giving mercy? Or the other materialistic world? It's our choice, and it depends on what we do in our heart. The opposite of Jiva Hamsa, violence to other living entities, is Jiva Doya, giving mercy. And what is the greatest mercy? You give them prasadam, you give them transcendental knowledge so they can see their way out of this dark, dense world. And we give them Krishna prasadam in the holy name. Our whole life is Jiva Doya. Nisarachar, accepting things forbidden in the Shastra, breaking the regulative principles. It's listed, there it is, because it just destroys everything. Simple example, do we live like a dog, hog, camel, and ass? Or do we live like a human being? It's our choice. Eat any damn thing, sleep with anyone, labor working so hard. Prabhupada's classic example of the donkey. Why does he use the example of the donkey? Donkey works hard. But what else is the foolishness of the donkey? Why does the donkey work so hard, other than Dravida and Vijay? Gets a little bit of grass. Now what does Prabhupada point out about that dry grass? It's growing on all sides of the road. Jesus makes the same point. Behold the lily of the field. They do not, the lilies of the field, they do not work. What is it? I forget. But never was Solomon arrayed such as she. Krishna takes care of everyone. going backwards. Ah, and just, the vulture flies high. The vultures have a special eye. Simultaneously, it can have, what do they call that? A panoramic. It can have simultaneously. Vulture's eye can be panoramic and zip, also focus in like a telescope. Yeah. I mean, they can fly 3 miles in the sky or whatever it is. But what are they looking for? Rotting, nasty corpse. So, okay, fine. You're just polished dogs and cats. Big buildings, big financial institutions, Shakespeare, Yo-Yo Ma sawing away on his cello with culture. But what's it all based on? Eating, sleeping, mating, and defending. Kama, lust for material things. It speaks for itself. And the last, and then we'll end here and then we'll pick up the positives. Puja, hankering for popularity. And that we already mentioned, it's not just devotees. I mean, not just the materialists, it's also us. We want to be the best, we want to be worshipped. There was I won't mention the name, it's nobody here. But there was, well, I'll just say it. Nanda Sutta Prabhu was telling me that he's got 2 daughters. And they were on the yatra, and I don't know the age, innocent, so it doesn't matter. Let's say 8 and 6. So they were saying the Premadwani prayers, Ki Jai, and then the devotees saying it, Ki Jai to the cooks, Ki Jai to the, Ki Jai to the, because they were putting on the yatra, and it's a lot of work, Ki Jai, So when the devotee finished, the little girl said, Ki Jai to me. So it's there. We want to be worshipped. We want to be respected. But what is it? How long does it last? I love this guy. You see the fool? Oh, so far so good. Oh, I'm having a great time. Sun is shining. What was Mukunda? What did that fool say? Perfect Saturday. Bright sun and plenty of girls to look at, It's a dog. No better than a dog. You see a dog when he gets off his leash? He's so happy, But time is there. Boop, pops the little balloon and exit stage left. Off you go. So what is it? You get a little bit of praise. What is it? So we're going to end here. We will not leave you, but seeds and weeds. What the plant, what the pull. So we will pick up next Sunday, not to leave you in a desperate place. We have these 6 positive steps, and then we also have from Nectar of Devotion, the 5 elements. 64 elements are listed by Rupa Goswami, but 5 are very important. So we're going to go into those 5 very important, the nurture devotional service, and the 6 positive things. What is it? Utsaha Nishchaya. There's some stories that go along with it. Okay, we're going to end there. So thank you very much. This is for me as well, but it's good. Prabhupada had at the Los Angeles Temple, and it became worldwide, and I'm sure it was in New York, they used to have the 26 qualities of devotees by the Tilak mirror. Huh? Yeah, I remember it. So every temple I went to had the 26 Cleveland Temple, the 26 New Vrindavan, so that when you put on tilak, you'd remember those 26 qualities. So and usually the ones I couldn't remember, the ones I was a little short on that day. So it's good to remember these things, because that's what determines how Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur's example. We can become Krishna conscious in a minute. Prabhupada said in this lifetime, why not? But we've got to pull up the anchors, and to pull up the anchors, we've got to know what those anchors are. Okay, thank you very much. Hare Krishna. And we'll pick up on the positives next Sunday.